Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Someday I'm gonna learn how to dance. I don't know how to dance yet, but I do it all the time because I very much enjoy it. Good morning, good evening, wherever you're out in the world. If you're on, please say hi to me. If you're brand new, please let me know so I can say hi and welcome you. I'd love to welcome new people. Let me know where you're at in the world. I am just checking to make sure that I'm actually live because it's been glitchy. Yes, I'm live. Hello, welcome. Okay, I'm about to drop some bombs this morning in such a good way. You are going to absolutely love this. Please take the couple minutes that it takes to stay tuned for at least the next 5 minutes, maybe even 2 minutes, because this is going to change your life. I just riffed on this in my elite group this morning, mandyperry.com/elite. We have a morning Zoom every morning where I set the tone for this and we really show up big in there. Good morning, Tammy. And so this morning, this is what I riffed on. And it's literally like I'm walking this out for the next 2,500 weeks of my life. So ready for this? You can't unhear this. It's going to change everything for you. I turned 40 September 12th. That's not the part that's going to change it forever. Good morning, Saya. September 12th, I turned 40, and I did some math, and it turns out that I have about 2,500 weeks left of my entire life. So the average age of death for a woman is 75. That's the average age, and I'm about to turn 40. I have 2,500 weeks left of life, give or take. 2,500 weeks. Which means I could literally, and I'm thinking about doing it, take sticky notes and I could put them on the wall. I could put 2,500, which is not very many, on my wall. And each week I could write what I accomplished, what I showed up for, how many lives I impacted, what dreams I went big for, what I held back for. And 2,500 weeks is going to pass so epically fast. And all I keep thinking is at the end of that, like there's going to be a point where there's like, it's going to happen. There's going to be a point in my life where there's like 10 sticky notes left. And I don't know when those 10, maybe I'll add another 20, maybe I'll take away 20, maybe I got 10 sticky notes left. I have no idea. But give or take, I only have about 2,500 weeks left of my life. So how the hell am I showing up? And everything looks different from that lens. Every single thing in our entire life looks different from that lens. How am I going to eat today? Am I going to eat on a friggin' diet? Am I going to eat on the next fad thing? Or am I going to eat in a way that fuels me, that makes me feel good, that makes me feel energetic and makes me feel clean and makes me feel clear-minded so I can show up really big and I can give what I have to give today? How am I speaking to my audience? How frequently would I be doing Facebook Lives? What would I be creating? And most importantly for me, what would I be selling? Because to me, sales is nothing more than the golden platter that I present to you the second you're ready to say yes to yourself and back yourself and go big to yourself. That is what sales is to me. It is my promise it's my promise to the people who I'm doing life with and sharing life with that I'm going to show up. I'm going to give everything I have to give today. And it's not as great as the girl that's been doing this for 10 years. It's not as great as the guy that's been doing this for 45 years, but it's as good as what I have to give today. And I'm going to give the very best of what I have to give to you today. And then I'm going to have a golden platter so that if you happen to say, you know what, that's it. I'm done messing around. I'm done playing small. I'm done with these habits that I'm like wasting my life on how to look better, how to be thinner. I'm wasting my life on what other people friggin' think. We talked about in the Leap group this morning. Do you know the number one the number one pain or regret of all human beings? Like they've done all these studies, you know, when people are on their deathbed, when people are really like ready to pass and they're talking about what they would have done differently, there's 2 things that they almost always say. Their biggest regret is caring too much what other people think. Looking back on their life when all those sticky notes are down. Like, oh, all those sticky notes are down and you're looking back at your life and you spent it caring too much what other people thought. Well, what if I fail publicly, or what if I screw it all up, or what if they think, who are you? And that's their biggest, deepest pain as they leave this planet, is the regret of caring too much what people think. And number 2, not going all in on their dreams. Not saying, fuck it, I'm all in. Oh, I'll let the whole thing burn down. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to just give everything that I got to this. And so we're going to look back. There's going to be a moment in our life when we look back and we think, either I gave it all and I really showed up for this and I gave everything I had to give in this lifetime or I didn't. Some people, when they leave this planet, they leave and the whole planet feels it. And some people, nobody really notices. And if you're here, it's because you feel called. If you're here, if you're listening, if you're having anything to do with doing life together with me, then that means you have a big call in your life. You have been called to something big and you know it. And you've always known that there's something more, there's something bigger here. And my reminder for you today is you have about 2,500 weeks left. Right? And you get to actually do the math of like, how many weeks do I have left of life? And when I'm looking back on my life, how do I want to say that I lived it? What mattered to me? How did I eat? How did I feel my body? How did I take care of my body so that, you know, when I had only 1,500 sticky notes left, this is how I was feeling and this is how I was able to show up. How are you being with your people? What are you teaching? What are you creating for people to do? What opportunities are you giving them? Are you opening up the path? Hey God, I'm going to open up this pathway for you to send people in, right? Like the 500K sales boot camp that I just opened up right now. It's literally because like, okay, what would help people who are in this waffling place or who are kind of holding back a little bit, not letting themselves be seen, not charging the prices they should be charging, not calling people to the level that they could be calling them to, not clear on why they're selling, not clear on what they're selling and have their heart and passion behind it, not clear on how to sell because they don't actually get that selling isn't something you're convincing someone to do. It's an offer. It's a love gift. Yes, is it uncomfortable for us to say like, this program is so amazing and I'm so amazing and you should come join it? Maybe it's a little bit uncomfortable to the sensibilities inside of us, but it's an act of love. An act of love is something you're doing for the gift of someone else. I know that anyone who joins that program, they're gonna have massive breakthrough. They're gonna have financial breakthrough. They're gonna see sales in a completely different way, but they're also gonna shift into the energy of showing up right now. There's going to be a sense of urgency in life in a really exciting, fun way, not in a pressure, oh, how is this going to work kind of way, in like a expansive, we got 2,500 weeks of life left. So why wouldn't I show up and create that and do the thing and shout it from the rooftops and have so much fun doing it and ask myself, what's a funner, even easier way I can do this? Because I got 2,500 weeks of life left. And I want the good-hearted, incredible human beings who have gone through hell and showed up and taught themselves and ate humble pie and learned the lesson and brushed themselves back up and got up again and faced the talk of like, oh, but those, like, who am I to do this? And maybe I should be rescuing starving people and you know, everybody else is teaching this, so why should I teach it? And they faced those things, they looked at them and they stepped anyway. And they got up and they had a hard day and they woke up to anxiety and they stepped anyway. There was a death in the family and they stepped and showed up anyway. They had their heart broken and they showed up and they stepped anyway. They felt all the feels that every other human did, and they just kept stepping, kept taking one more step, kept playing a big game, kept going all in, kept putting their heart and their soul behind it, showing up, learning how to serve and to stop getting off of scarcity and fear. That's what we do. We look down like, is everything okay? Is everybody all right? We look behind our back to check, see if there's any fires I need to put out. And all the meanwhile, there's all these people in front of us that we could have been serving, but we had our head down because of old fears and old traumas, and we weren't playing big, and we were caring too much what people thought. And if we hurt someone's feelings, or if I let someone down, or if I do a bad job, then we do a bad job. You eat your humble pie and you learn how to do better and you take another step. People get stuck in indecision. Well, do I do this or do I do this? And meanwhile, 2 weeks later, 2 sticky notes, boom, boom, take your sticky notes off the wall. That's 2 weeks you can never get back because you didn't show up and you didn't do the damn thing. Let's learn from that, right? It's okay, no problem, brush it off, but we're not doing it again. We're not doing that on the next sticky note. And I just had this vision of my head. Could you imagine if we had the sticky notes on the wall and at the end of every week we wrote, and so I decided I'm going to do a marketing plan this way. So I'm going to start, I've committed to myself that I'm going to start writing, this is what I did this week. And I'm going to do like a 2,500 week countdown for the rest of my life, because I want to see evidence of how many people am I impacting? How am I serving? Am I reaching more people? Am I giving everything I have to give, or do I hold back because I want to be special or I want to be important? Well, I don't want to tell you all of that. If I tell you all of that, then who am I? Then we're all the same. Then I'm not special anymore, right? This is the pattern us humans have. Well, my standard is I give until it triggers me, and then I give even more, right? But my standard is also, we're going to play a big game. So the 500K sales system is me backing, no, we're playing a big game. So I have, the elite membership or something like that is for anyone. It's $97 a month, founding member pricing right now. It's massive value. I show up in there every single day. We have live events. We have everything that you could, it's a thing that you just do for the rest of your life. That's what that is, right? And then I have things like, the Diamond Mastermind, where it's one-on-one coaching and it's a big commitment, or I have something like the 500K sales boot camp, which is like, we're all in. Like I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm putting my energy and my time on the thing that matters the most and the platform where I'm reaching and supporting other people. So whatever that looks like for you is what it is, right? For me, it's sales. It's just understanding that I'm going to walk myself through something. And then I'm going to, like I said, all the things are happening in life, but I keep stepping. I keep showing up. I keep stepping. I find the thing that locks me into a why that makes me show up when it's hard, when it's scary, when I feel like an idiot, when I feel like I'm screwing everything up, when I feel like it's too much pressure. Why am I doing this anyway? When I feel like, whatever the stories are that come my way, when I feel those, do I have something that I'm locking into? What is my why? Why am I doing this? Why am I showing up? Why am I getting on a Facebook Live at freaking 8 o'clock in the morning? Elite membership is awesome. Yeah, if you're not in the elite membership, you really should be. MandyPerry.com/elite. If you have any questions, just PM me. And also, by the way, the elite members, everybody will get 10% off coupon towards the 500K sales system. Boom, the 500K, the rapid 500K sales boot camp. It's a new one, so I didn't have the title memorized just yet. Okay, so today, what does it look like? Like, what really matters to you? What's true for you? Do you believe that playing a big game and going all in, right? Success is rigged for the bold, but not everybody feels called to success. I think everybody in this community does, right? We feel called to play a big game, to go all in. But in order to do that, you have to have something that lights your ass on fire. You got to know why you're doing that. That's the first thing I'm going to cover in this, because for 45 days, we are going to literally, like, you're going to eat, breathe, sleep, and speak, and I'm not going to say the other one that just came to mind. Sales. It's sales, 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 sales. Why sales? How sales? What is sales? How do I relate to sales? How do because when you're somebody who loves selling, everybody loves buying from you. That's just how it works, right? And when you can tap into the fact that you are this really incredible, beautiful human being who's playing a big game. He gets that there's 2,500 weeks left of life. I just get it. I get that there's 2,500 weeks left of life. And I'll be damned if I'm going to squirrel out and watch Netflix for half that time and put myself on some kind of freaking stupid diet where I'm hyper-focused on how I look instead of just letting that naturally happen because I'm lit up with joy and excitement and I'm showing up big in life and I got so many things going on that excite me that I don't even remember to eat. So I hire someone to buy all the food for me and cook all the food for me and serve me with the food to remind me to eat. Whatever that looks like for you, it's a hell of a lot of a different life than I'm going to play the small game. I'm going to hem and haw. I'm going to be a little bit wishy-washy. I'm going to kind of tell people what I have going on, but I'm not going to shout it from the rooftops. I'm going to create things, but it's not my absolute brilliance and best of me that I have captured that people can continue to walk through. And, I'm not really playing a big game, so how can I expect them to play a big game? And, I'm going to be like, well, that's too much for me to invest in. So, that my clients are going to say to me, that's too much to invest in. And on this cycle goes and this cog goes. And my question for you simply this morning is, hey, if you have about 2,500 weeks of life left, how did you want to live them? What really means something to you? Do you want to go big? It's not a have to. I'm asking a genuine question. Do you want to play big? Do you want to look back and feel like I left it all on the table? Man, I went big and I failed big a couple times, but I won big too. And I became the human being who has all the lessons and the seasonings and the love and the ability to hold space in a big container for other people. When I leave this planet, the planet's going to feel it, right? It's a loss to the planet. But everything I did for myself, I take with me. But everything I do for others, I leave. Everything I showed up for and did for someone else. Every time I served, every time I kept my commitment, every time I played a big game, called people to more, raised my prices. We all played a big game together. We supported, we loved each other. We did it arm in arm. Like every time that I do something for someone else, when I call them to more, when I choose to give myself, I participate in creating that for other people. And every time I do that, I leave that, even when I leave this planet, that legacy lives on. You're capable of a really big legacy of impacting hundreds of thousands of lives. You are fully capable of literally changing the world, changing the trajectory of people's lives over and over and over. And my call today is to stop taking for granted the wisdom that you have, the strength and the power that you have, the resolve, the heart, the inclination that you have towards love for other people, the belief that you have that something else is possible for them. All of that amazingness that you have inside of you, you got to stop taking that for granted. Literally, it's done. Enough. No more taking this for granted. It's time to really step up and really play a big game. Give the best of us that we have to the planet and learn how to, because listen to me, this is a really big deal. One of the other things that I'm going to teach you in the 500K system is knowing what supports other people in having massive transformation. It's not necessarily just about, right? Because if you're showing up and you're telling people how to do stuff, what's going to happen is they're going to take your advice that you just gave them and they're going to go try to do what you just told them. And then they're going to do it for a little while, maybe 2 weeks or so. That tends to be a common, time period for people. They're going to go do it for 2 weeks and then they're going to fail at it because they didn't change. Their wiring didn't change. Their thinking didn't change. Their beliefs didn't change. Every amount of success that I've had is because a belief in me changed, which is why every program that I run, I'm helping you rewire in new beliefs. That's what I'm doing every morning with the people in the elite group, right? So it's literally about changing a belief. So if I'm showing up and I'm giving people how-tos and I'm telling them how to do things, that's not value necessarily. You can do that in your paid programs, but when you're giving your free content, when you're supporting, being present with people, coaching people, everything that you're doing, you're supporting them first of all in being empowered and believing in themselves and learning how to go back into their power. But secondly, we're helping them understand why they're experiencing what they're experiencing. Why? Why are they feeling the way they're feeling? Why are they doing the thing that they're doing? Why is the thing that they keep on doing not working? What would work? What worked for you? How did you walk yourself through that process? How did you get yourself to the space on the other side? So when I speak to you, when I'm here, I'm giving you everything I have to give, but I'm not teaching you how to go do something, because what good is that? Then you're going to go be yourself with the same beliefs and you're going to screw that up, and then you're going to come back and you're going to associate that with me. What I'm here to do is help you understand why. Why are you not living the biggest game that you have during the small amount of time that we have left on this planet? Why are you going back and forth, hemming and hawing? Why are you being indecisive and it's taking a week for you to make a decision about something that could be very, very simple for you? Why are you not actually showing up and letting people know what you have to sell every single day so that the second that they're ready, they are taking action on that? Why are you not actually bringing the best of you to the table and creating this beautiful art that is a program or a container or a teaching or a healing modality for people to be able to go through? And why aren't you really feeling the vibes? This is all I'm doing, right? Like, why? What's really happening? So what most people are doing is they're coming from the place of, well, what would sell? Or what would my clients do? What would they want to do? Or what would make me seem like I'm on the level of these other people? And they're coming from these silly places, and that's why their sales aren't working. I'm trying to make myself basically be further along than I am, and then I'm wondering why I'm not excited to show up for that. Well, because you're not feeling like you just fully get to be yourself. This is where I'm at. This is my current results. These are my current fuck-ups. These are my current wins. This is my current belief system. This is what I currently look like. This is what it all is. And all the people, the many, 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 many people who are like that right there. Okay, I feel that. That's me. That's what's going on in my life. That's what I need. And they tune into you, and then they're like, okay, I see that, I can see. She walked herself through that. She got herself here. Okay, I want to walk myself to that same place. Oh, that's what we're doing in this program, right? So like the 500K sales system, it is to love sales, to feel like my selling is my legacy that I'm leaving on the planet. The number one thing I'm doing on that 2,500, the list, I already have a place in my house where I'm putting the 2,500 sticky notes. That's why I'm pointing there. Though on those 2,500 sticky notes, every single week, I want to be selling, because selling is an act of love to call people's ass to more. That's what selling is. It's an opportunity. There's nothing more sacred than the moment when one of my clients say, that's it. I've had enough. I'm going all in. I'm doing this. I'm not playing small anymore. I want clarity. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to put my time where my mouth is. I'm going to actually do this thing. I'm going all in. I'm done playing small. I'm done holding back. And they actually hit send and they press the payment button. I dance every time a client joins anything. I don't care how small the payment is, because I know what's happening in that moment. The transformation has already begun. In that moment, the transformation has already begun. They've already begun becoming the human being that they're called to be. And all that tension and pressure from not showing up, they're finally on the other side of that. I know the exhale they're feeling. I know the ripple effect that's going to have in their life. I know all the things that are happening. I don't care if they fail miserably on their face because of this. It's still exactly what's moving them to the next level. So for me, it's understanding and knowing that's where all the magic is. The moment my client says yes to himself or yes to herself, she decides she's worthy. She decides that he can trust himself to back up. he decides that he's worthy of support and help and being part of a community and making friends and letting themselves be the student, and ego's not driving us like I have to be the master of all things and I'm not allowed to comment or engage or show that I'm learning. What? Like the most intelligent leaders in the planet are always learning. They're students. They're masters of being a student. Like that's just some weird ego stuff, right? Like I went through a phase of that too. So it's really actually understanding and knowing that actually my sales, creating my opportunity for clients to say yes themselves is one of the most sacred things that I could do on the planet. And that is not fluff. When you know that and you believe that and you're locked into a deep, true why, selling is innately a part of what you do. You could never not sell. It's just part of what you do. And when you're in that space, people are like, oh, they don't know. They're just like, oh my God, that's me. I belong here. Yes, that fits. Oh my God. Yes, I need this. I want this. And then they're in. They're in. There's no convincing. There's no having to like be the used car salesman shouting from the rooftops. There's passion, there's energy, there's joy, there's excitement. You believe in the process that they're about to go through. You could predict the testimonials that they're going to give you at the end because you've walked yourself through it. Now, whether they show up or not, that's on them, right? But even if they don't, can we love them big enough to be the space where they stumble on their face? Because we all have moments where we stumble on our face. We can't be afraid of that. We can't stop and say, no, well, what if I don't show up for that? What if I don't, what if I don't make the investment worth it? We can't let that stop us. Sometimes we're going to do that. You have to accept that right now. You have to accept that sometimes you're going to fail. Sometimes you're going to do the thing and it's not going to be the thing that moved you to that next level, except for it did and you just don't realize it because every failure is a win. It's a lesson, right? We're either creating wins and celebrations or memories, or we're creating lessons. Nothing else exists. There is no failure. There is no shouldn't have, couldn't have, didn't, whatever regret bullshit, right? We go for it and we either get a massive lesson or we get a massive reward on the other side. So why aren't we going for it every single week of that 2,500 weeks? Just really going for it, going all in, putting both feet in, doing whatever it takes for us to be called to that place where we're doing that and we're dropped into this deep, deep sense of purpose and why, and know why we're showing up, and letting that be the thing that fuels our life while we have this, fuck it, let it all burn down. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. It doesn't matter how I look for the rest of my life or how much money I make or the success that I end up having. None of that matters if I'm being the person. If I'm just being the person I feel called to be, if I'm going all in, if I'm going big, if I'm giving all the value that I have to give, if I'm creating opportunity for people to opt into the things that I know I can support them with, if I'm doing that, the rest doesn't matter. The rest is always will be whatever it was meant to be. And there's no pressure. There's no nothing. It's just a fun, wild, epic adventure. Do you hear what I'm saying? Okay, I saw a couple messages come through. That just happened to me yesterday. I saw a couple messages coming through about the 500K system. So it's, I can drop the link in the comments. It's mandyperry.com/salesbootcamp. This is not going to be like any other sales program you've ever done. This is 45 days of boot camp. It's literally dropping all into all the energy we just talked about. It's why. Why are you doing this? How do you feel about sales? What is sales to you? How are you coming from a place of deep service and value to your people every single day, no matter what's going on around you? How have you locked in your process to be able to do that? mandyperry.com/sales bootcamp. My team, I used to have my team do this, but my COO is pregnant and sleeps in a little bit later now. So my team used to do it because whenever I'm talking and I try to write something, I'm like, okay, there it is. But it's a PM me. This one's a PM me. So you PM me. Are you ready for this? Are you feeling this? Are you feeling hell yes? This one just has, the sales copy, but at the end it's telling you to PM me so you can read it, you can feel the vibes, but this is what I recommend. If you feel like this is the energy you want to get into, don't let the worries about, you're going to have stuff that comes up, right? Like I have clients to me like, oh, how come all my clients say they can't afford my program? Well, probably because you're saying you can't afford the program you want, first of all. That's just, let's be real. But secondly, that's what people say. That's just a normal objection in our culture. I can't afford it. Okay, right. I can't afford it means I need it. If I can't afford a thing, if I feel like my finances aren't what they need to be, then sales and making money needs to be the number one thing that I invest in. And if it's with a mentor who's this kind of energy, then you would opt into this program. This is the kind of energy I live in. It's an all-in kind of life. It's a 2,500 weeks left to our life. It's a purpose. It's a passion. It's a service. It's a how can I really truly give more value? How can I create massive transformation for my client? I'm also going to teach you that. I know this is a sales program, but you're not going to be able to fully get your energy behind selling if you don't believe that you can create a space where people will thrive. And I'm going to teach you how to do that, right? I'm literally going to give you all the pieces for this. So in this program, this is a full in 45-day boot camp to rewire your entire system around what sales is, what you're creating, why you're selling, what you're creating, and how to actually sell. How to sell in a way where you'll feel like, literally, it feels like not breathing to not do this. And I really mean that. For me, it feels like if somebody tried to ever shame me or tell me it was bad or something like that, it's literally, honestly, like telling me it's bad to serve people. It's bad to give people an opportunity to have a better life. It's bad to, show up really big, walk yourself through something hard, and then give other people an opportunity to do the same thing. It's bad to believe in other people. It's bad to believe that they're big and they're powerful. And of course they'll show up just as big as me, if not bigger. Of course, my clients will surpass me. I know this, right? Like what, if someone were to tell me that, I would just, it's so non-credible. It's so ridiculous. It's impossible. It's impenetrable. I'm impenetrable to have any kind of guilt around selling and around making tons and tons of money based off of supporting and giving massive amounts of transformation and value for other human beings and believing in them and knowing their worth and holding that reflection until they see it themselves and they feel it and they embody it relentlessly. Like, nobody could ever tell me that there's something wrong with that or something bad about that. It's just not a thing that would ever happen. So if this resonates with you, PM me. If you feel like you got value from this, please share the video or tag some friends below that you think might be interested in just dropping into these kind of vibes. And so, yes, we have the elite membership. If you're just getting started, want to get a taste of things, if you want to jump right in and full on boot camp with me, I'm going to kick your ass in all the best ways possible. This is going to be an exhale. It's not going to be I'm taking something on, now I have to do even more. This is full on support that's going to make you exhale, and you're going to find this really powerful, beautiful rhythm of selling and creating and knowing your why when it comes to doing this kind of work. And it's definitely going to be the vibes of 2,500 weeks left. So that's the 500K sales bootcamp. So you can PM me about that. And then just for today, also what I want you to do is I want you to just tap into what is the energy that I want to spend? Like, what is true for you? Like, let's just make a decision right now without waffling, right? Let's make a decision right now that we have 60 seconds. You have 60 seconds to make a decision. No waffling, no whatever. Your soul already knows. Actually, it knows in the first 5 seconds. Do you feel called to play a really big game and leave a massive impact and shine really bright on this planet? Or do you feel called to let life be, I want to say small, but it's not small because some people are really called to this. Do you feel called to, let it, it's really just, some other people don't feel called to that. It's so funny because it's so foreign to me. I was just trying to find words and stumbling around to procrastinate saying it because it's not a bad thing. Some people don't feel called to play a big game. They feel, what would be the opposite of that? If I don't feel called to a big game, then I feel called to just live, right? Like, one of my brothers just wants to kick his shoes off barefoot and mow the lawns, and that's just who he is. And he's a genius. He's literally the smartest kid in the whole entire family. He always got scholarships and called to first colleges where it's first draft, first qual. Qual is the Marine Corps. But he always got scholarships to everything. He was always the best at everything he ever did. But he just literally was the barefoot kickoff and walk around life kind of kid. He takes care of his family. He married a girl from home. He has 2 amazing kids. He has just like the traditional life. And some people just don't feel called to play a big game in life. They just don't. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you get to decide for you. And I want you to post it in the comments. Do you feel the barefoot kickoff sort of just banter around life? Or do you feel called to create massive change and impact on the planet and to heal the world? And it's just good to just own what it is for you. What is it for you? Do you feel called to play a big game? Because if you do, there's no time like now. 2,500 weeks left. This is nothing. We have nothing, right? Like, it's now or never. Either you have the ability to be able to take massive action to back that right now, or you don't, because it's not going to be any easier tomorrow. You guys will never hear me stop saying this. never feels easier tomorrow. It's not going to feel easier later today. It's not going to feel easier to PM me or to reach out or to say yes or to join the program or to hire the person, do whatever the thing is. It's not going to feel easier in 1 hour. It's not going to feel easier after lunch. It's not going to feel easier when I wake up in the morning. It's not going to feel easier ever, because whenever I push things off, I create the habit of pushing things off. Whenever I take action now, I create more of the action of taking action now, right? So you're wiring your brain to do whatever the thing is you're doing right now, right? So however you want to show up, you start showing up right now, or you don't show up as that person. The illusion that I'll show up as that person later is completely an illusion. Either you're pulling in and doing what it takes for you to show up right now, or it's not happening. That is an illusion. There's no later. There is no tomorrow. None of that is a real thing. Think about it. Anything that you've been feeling like you struggle with, you keep telling yourself it's later, it's tomorrow, I'll do it then. It's this wishy-washy energy. It's this back and forth. It's this commitment and then drop off. It's this doing it and then quitting. That's the energy of it. So literally all of your success is built on your ability to take action right now. And so this 500K boot camp is what I did that first year to make that first 500K, and then literally just continue to be able to do that. So it's the energy and the feeling of it, but it's also the ability to take action right now to be the human being that you feel called to be, right? Okay, so if this resonates with you, PM me. I'm going for a swim, so I'll get back to you ASAP. And I'd love to hear from you what it is that you feel called to do. Do you feel called to play a big game? What do you feel called to do? Do you have clarity on what that is? That's the first thing we're gonna do. But if you already have that clarity, drop it in the comments. If you're on the replay, hashtag go big. Hashtag go big or hashtag barefoot. That's what you can do below. Hashtag go big if you feel called to play, if you've kind of always known that you were called for something more, that you're a little bit different, that you're called to a big game, that you're called to really leave an impact on this planet, hashtag go big. And if you are the barefoot person who just doesn't feel called to that, hashtag barefoot. There's no right or wrong. I know sometimes we feel like people need to be like us in order to be right. That's complete crap. There is no right or wrong on the planet, but there is telling the truth. And what all I'm calling you to do right now is tell the truth. Tell the truth about what you feel called to and how you feel called to show up on this planet. And maybe one word. What's your one word below about the energy of your 2,500 weeks? Like if I really tune into like, okay, you got 2,500 weeks left, Mandy. Each week you need to master each week. Each week needs to be better than the one before. The one word would be, the only word that keeps coming to mind is BAM! I really want to know your one word. It's like this thing lately I've been feeling is like this sonic boom, like boom, and it's just like this, and it ripples through the whole entire universe. Like all things that exist, it just ripples through. Like that's the word that keeps coming to mind. Excellence was another one. Going big was another one. Just bam, that feeling of like, bam, I did it. I tried it. I launched it. I did the thing. I hired the person. I put myself in a position I couldn't get out of. I cried. I freaked out. And then I kept pushing myself through and I kept walking and learning the next step. Just bam. Empowered. Yeah. Hashtag go big. Love it. Bam. There's a word and it starts with an E. It's just not coming to me. Evolution. That's what it feels like. For me, it feels like I would watch each week as I'm evolving into the next level version of me. There's no weeks where I just stayed the same person and I was indecisive and I didn't make a big decision to back myself and I didn't risk something. There's no weeks where I didn't risk something. I risked it. I went all in. I really backed myself. I put my money where my mouth was. I put my time where what mattered to me the most. I let my priorities, be the thing. And I evolved every day. Bam, evolved. Yes, it is like the Big Bang of creating a universe. And we do get to create what the rest of our, and I really feel grateful this morning. I'm just going to drop in really quick. I feel so grateful that we're not already 80 years old looking back on our life, 75 years old looking back on our life. And it's too late. And you can't go back. And you can't show up bigger. You can't serve better. You can't give more. You can't become more. You can't take that risk. You can't do any of those things. It's too late. But that's not us. We're not there. We're not 80 looking back at our life, having regret that we could have played a bigger game and gone all in and been around the people who keep calling us to more, and really create that real genuine life that we actually want to, with the friendships, with the fun, the freedom, with the loving sales, with the creating the best of us and bringing that to the planet. We're calling other people's ass to more. We don't have to feel that regret yet. We have plenty of time to shift, because shift happens right now, and now we can be now. Now we can be the person we feel called to be right now. We choose to be that person, and all of a sudden we are. No time has to pass to be that person. I choose to be someone who goes big, invests big, put my money where my mouth is. I do the thing. I surround myself with the people I'm meant to, and served the shit out of my people. And because you chose to be her or him, you are that person right now. Like, no time needs to change. So now you embody that person, and then now you take action being that person, period, end of story. Makes sense? And we get to design what the next 2,500 weeks look like. Maybe for some of you it's 1,500 weeks. Maybe for some of you it's 500 weeks. Maybe for some of you it's 3,500 weeks. We get to feel that. 2,500 weeks left of life. How are we showing up today? How am I eating? How am I investing? How am I creating? How am I speaking? What am I doing? What are my power moves? Who am I spending my time with? What am I spending my time doing? Etc., etc. And the clarity of that is a really big deal. And that's my call for you this morning. And that is it. mandyperry.com/sales bootcamp, or PM me for more details. I got you. There's no convincing energy. There's simply, I see the value in you. What is it you want? And I'm going to support you in helping you getting to what you want. But this program is not going to be for everybody, but I'll help you see if it's right for you, and support you in making your next power move, whatever that is. So don't hesitate to reach out. I'm not the kind of person you can't reach out to. I love connecting with my clients. People don't have to be paid client to reach out to me. It's not like that. You're not going to get free coaching. I have really amazing boundaries. I love limitlessly and unconditionally with boundaries. But I'm going to support you in having clarity. That is my role. My role is to help you have clarity so you can make the most empowered decision for yourself, period, end of story. It's not to get you to go somewhere or funnel you somewhere. It's to help you have clarity so you can make the most empowered decision to back yourself and take action right now, so that you're crushing those 2,500 weeks and you're loving how you show up every week. And every week you became a different human being, which just multiplies and compounds and compounds and compounds, right? Like the story of the penny. Would you rather have $1 million or a penny spread out? So how you show up this week is going to compound. Like, I invested, I did the thing, I called my ass tomorrow, I figured this thing out. Okay, now next week I'm that person doing this week, and now I'm going to do this and expand this way, and now I'm that double those people on this day. So now that's going to quadruple. On that third day, now you're already quadrupling. Like, this is a big deal. This is a really big deal. Like, this is everything. And you just get to have it, end of story. Does that make sense? Like, you're worthy of having that. You're worthy of having the experience of life that you desire. You're worthy to feel the skills and the power and the deep why that's just compelling you to show up in the way that you feel called to become the human being that you feel called to become. You're worthy of having that. You just get to have that. You're as worthy as any human ever was to have that. End of story. Every baby, when they were born and they're sitting there, they all were worthy. It was not like, oh, well, those 4 get to have the life they want and this one doesn't. That's not a real thing. It's all just beliefs that you've created that we're going to swipe away, clear the plate, and actually show up really empowered, serve our people, create massive transformation, and really be proud of how we showed up each week so it can keep multiplying to that next week, right? Okay, I love you guys very much. Have an amazing day. I can't wait to see you guys in my PM. Just checking in to see if I have anything else to say. It feels like there's one more thing. Nope. I think that's everything. That's everything for this morning. I love you guys so much. Have an amazing day. I will see you in my PM or in the elite group, or I will see you on my socials. Bye guys, I love you.